Hello and welcome to a tutorial in Unreal Engine. We're using 4.27.2 for Ready or Not modding. Some details I want to go over. I have a good system, however, I do not have an RTX card, and this will not work for non-NVIDIA cards, so AMD cards will not work. It's called GPU Lightmass, and the first thing we do is we would turn off ray tracing on all lights. So if you go and open your map, it's best to do this as you go along and start from a blank project, but I guess compiling shaders isn't that bad. But you would open your map, and in the world outliner, search light, and you shouldn't have very many if you're already working from a built map and you're currently building it. This may take a while, but just select each light, go down under the light directory, and shut off ray tracing, shadows, reflections, and global illumination. You would do that on each light. As you can see, my skylight has 0 samples per pixel on ray tracing. Let me try 1 because I'm crashing at the moment, and it's probably because I don't have an RTX, but let's just see if that makes a difference. Another thing I did, because I'm crashing using a 1660, I went through all my materials, probably about 50 of them, and I shut off the parent materials. I shut off ray tracing shadows, so that still crashed for me, but that's a troubleshooting. So you would go into your material parents, your master materials, and just shut off ray tracing shadows. And if we go to a material, let's try this one. When you open it, down here under material, ray tracing shadows, I have them all shut off, so that shouldn't be the problem. So we shut off ray tracing in all our lights because Ready or Not doesn't use ray tracing anyway. I double checked to make sure all my materials aren't using ray tracing shadows, and all my lights are not using ray tracing. So to enable ray tracing in the first place, you would go to project settings. Once you installed the bare bones, any updates, and if you've even started a map, you would search ray in the project settings and turn on ray tracing. And I just re-enabled it, so I'll restart now, and I'll save selected. This will take a moment. Okay, so we have ray tracing enabled, and the issue here is if you already have your map built, it's going to compile shaders for a while. So if you want to just wait, pause this, and let your shaders compile, it's best to do that. Then we go to plugins, and in the search GPU, and enable Lightmass. And then you would close out your editor, and let me turn on my icons here. Once you've enabled GPU Lightmass in your plugins, you need to restart your editor, open up your map, and I'm probably going to crash, but since we checked all our lights, for example, let's say I have, let's pick this out here. I know there's some issues with glitching in the meshes. They're not sized correctly. I'm just kind of winging it. Alright, so static mesh. I have a light fixture here somewhere in my assets. been lagging pretty bad, but should show up. Here we go. Okay, so let's add a light fixture, and in wireframe we can see it better. Maybe scale it up just a bit, something like that, and transform. Where is he? Sorry about the mapping tutorial. You probably don't need this, but it's just to get the point across. So let's just scale it up in Z and settle it into the ceiling, so the orange disappears a bit. Okay, now I can switch to lit. So zoom up, excuse me, on this a little bit more. It doesn't have material applied to it just yet, but the point is adding lights. When you add a point light, say right about here, just to land that a little better. Drop it down. Okay, so we'd scroll down to the ray tracing shadows, shut that off, reflections and global illumination, and also under ray tracing down here, samples per pixel. I set them all to 0, and if you can see in my world outliner, this is what I've been experimenting with. We scroll down to ray tracing in my directional lights for sunlight. I have samples per pixel 0. So let me just set these to 1 because I don't have a ray tracing card. That's why I'm doing that. So ray tracing. I don't see it. Distance field shadows. I guess I'll leave that off because most people don't do that. Performance Lightmass. Alright, so we shut off ray tracing. Anyway, skylight, samples per pixel. I'll leave it on 1. My second directional light, Lightmass, ray tracing. I crashed, see? Well, that's how to enable GPU Lightmass, and I'll launch once more. And I will crash again, but I guess the point is to teach you how to build your lighting. First off, you'll get much better results if you set your static mesh to a power of 2, 512 or 1024 for static meshes. And if you have a ray tracing card, this won't affect lower end machines very much, because if you have ultra graphics on an ultra system, anyone playing on medium who has to run the game stock medium anyway, 512 is a pretty good resolution for your static meshes. And I doubt many people are using BSP. So you would run GPU Lightmass. I would turn the viewport real time off, and I'm using defaults. I'm really not sure if someone can help me out if I'm using the wrong settings. Maybe I'll just shut this off and just build lighting, and we'll see if it works. Oh, there we go. It is building lighting, and I'm done. So am I even on a map? Probably why. So I guess it does work. I'm not gonna save that. So GPU Lightmass generally does work. However, something about my settings isn't working. So let's try GPU Lightmass and try to turn off irradiance caching and viewport and build lighting. And let's see if this works.